The Battle of the Atlantic was the longest and most protracted campaign of World War II. It began on September 3, 1939, with the outbreak of the war, and continued until May 7, 1945, when Germany officially surrendered. The battle took place primarily in the Atlantic Ocean, with a particular focus on the North Atlantic. This region was strategically crucial because it connected Europe and North America, serving as a vital supply route for the Allies. The Battle of the Atlantic held immense significance for both the Allied and Axis powers. For Germany, it was a crucial effort to cut off Britain's supply lines, weaken its economy, and potentially force its surrender. For the Allies, securing the Atlantic supply routes was essential to sustain Britain, reinforce European theatres of war, and eventually launch the D-Day invasion. Germany deployed a formidable fleet of U-boats, which were submarines used for offensive naval operations. The U-boats were highly effective in disrupting Allied shipping by launching surprise attacks and engaging in hit-and-run tactics. Admiral Karl Dönitz, commander of the U-boat fleet, advocated a system of attack in which they hunted in so-called wolf packs, in which U-boats would spread out over the course of a convoy's route, and upon sighting a convoy, all the U-boats would converge en masse to cause maximum havoc. To counter the threat posed by U-boats, the Allies implemented the convoy system. This system involved grouping merchant ships into convoys and assigning naval warships, such as destroyers and corvettes, to protect them. Convoys provided mutual protection, as the combined firepower of the escort vessels could repel U-boat attacks. Sonar technology played a critical role in the Battle of the Atlantic. Sonar, short for sound navigation and ranging, enabled the detection and tracking of submerged U-boats by emitting sound waves and analyzing their reflections. This technology provided the Allies with a significant advantage in locating and engaging U-boats. The Allies deployed various warships as escorts for merchant convoys. These escorts included destroyers, corvettes, frigates, and sloops, among others. The primary role of these vessels was to protect the convoys from U-boat attacks, engage in anti-submarine warfare, and provide countermeasures such as depth charges. The Battle of the St. Lawrence was a sub-campaign within the broader Battle of the Atlantic. It involved U-boat attacks on shipping in the St. Lawrence River and Gulf of St. Lawrence, threatening Canadian ports and merchant traffic. The campaign required significant efforts to counter the U-boat threat and safeguard vital supply lines to Canada. Allied aircraft, particularly long-range patrol planes, played a crucial role in the Battle of the Atlantic. Aircraft such as the American PBY Catalina and British Sunderland conducted reconnaissance missions, searched for U-boats, and attacked them with depth charges, torpedoes, or bombs. Their presence forced U-boats to remain submerged and restricted their ability to operate freely. The British successfully deciphered the German Enigma code, a sophisticated encryption system used by the Germans to communicate their naval operations. The decryption of Enigma messages provided invaluable intelligence on U-boat movements, allowing the Allies to anticipate and counter U-boat attacks effectively. The Battle of the Caribbean was another significant sub-campaign within the Battle of the Atlantic. It involved U-boat attacks on shipping in the Caribbean Sea, targeting vessels bound for the United States and threatening the region's vital oil refineries. Allied efforts focused on countering these attacks and safeguarding the crucial sea routes in the Caribbean. The Allies launched offensives against German U-boats to disrupt their operations and reduce their threat. These offensives involved various tactics, such as conducting airstrikes on U-boat bases, deploying submarines to hunt U-boats, and using specialized hunter-killer groups to track and engage enemy submarines. Germany employed magnetic mines that could attach themselves to the hulls of ships, making them difficult to detect and disarm. These mines caused significant damage to both merchant vessels and warships, adding to the dangers faced by Allied shipping. By mid-1943, the balance of the Battle of the Atlantic began to shift in favor of the Allies. This turning point resulted from a combination of factors, including improved technology, tactics, intelligence, and increased naval resources. Losses of U-boats increased, while merchant ship losses decreased, indicating a change in momentum. The development and deployment of long-range aircraft played a vital role in the Allies' success in the Battle of the Atlantic. Aircraft such as the British Avro Lancaster and American consolidated B-24 Liberator had the range to provide effective air coverage over vast expanses of the Atlantic. They conducted patrols, attacked U-boats, and provided crucial air support to protect convoys. To sustain the war effort and counter U-boat losses, the Allies significantly increased their shipbuilding efforts. This included constructing more merchant vessels to replace those sunk by U-boats and building more warships to provide escort services and anti-submarine capabilities. The Battle of the Atlantic required close cooperation between the British, Canadian, and American navies. Joint efforts, intelligence sharing, and coordinated patrols enhanced the effectiveness of convoy operations and anti-submarine warfare. Throughout the war, Germany continuously improved U-boat technology. They introduced faster and more capable submarines, such as the Type 21 U-boat, which had increased submerged endurance and improved stealth capabilities. However, these advancements were unable to alter the overall course of the battle in Germany's favor. The outcome of the battle was a strategic victory for the Allies. The German blockade failed, but at great cost. 3,500 merchant ships and 175 warships were sunk in the Atlantic for the loss of 783 U-boats, the majority of them Type 7 submarines, and 47 German surface warships, including 4 battleships, Bismarck, Scharnhorst, Gneisenau, and Tirpitz, 9 cruisers, 7 raiders, and 27 destroyers. Of the U-boats, 519 were sunk by British, Canadian, or other UK-based forces. 175 were destroyed by American forces, 15 were destroyed by the Soviets, and 73 were scuttled by their crews before the end of the war for various reasons. In total, over 100,000 sailors and merchant seamen were lost. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill later wrote, "The only thing that really frightened me during the war was the U-boat peril." The successful outcome of the Battle of the Atlantic was crucial for the Allied war effort. By maintaining the flow of supplies from North America to Britain, the Allies ensured that Britain could continue to resist German aggression. It also enabled the reinforcement of Allied forces in Europe and the eventual launch of the D-Day invasion, which marked a turning point in the European theater. The Battle of the Atlantic officially ended with Germany's surrender in May 1945. The relentless efforts of the Allies to secure the Atlantic supply routes, along with their technological advancements, naval power, and intelligence superiority, played a significant role in achieving victory. The Battle of the Atlantic's conclusion was a crucial milestone in the ultimate defeat of Nazi Germany and the end of World War II in Europe.